Hello and welcome back to Keeping Your Business on Track, where we give you the inspiration and education to elevate your mortgage and real estate businesses. So what are we talking about today?
Distraction.
Oh, that's an easy topic for me.
Distraction. And the only reason I wanted to talk about this specifically today is a lot of our partners out there are saying, I made my goals, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to hit the ground running. And then they go, what's next? And they focus on the next shiny thing that they're supposed to sell.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to talk about why we all get in our own way and what distractions there are that keep us from reaching our goals.
Well, it's funny because sometimes when people are successful, they kind of forget what gets them there and gets them to become successful. And they start looking for the new best thing instead of doing what worked all along.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I know in our business, in 2020 and 2021, we had record booming years. Mm-hmm. And what got someone there, people forget what got them there. And then they want to do different things. And, they're getting marketed to by new shiny objects, new marketing systems. And right now, a lot of mortgage people out there are out there selling product, right? They're selling the new latest product to get from A to B. And when in reality, it's such a small piece of market share. Let me give you an example. Okay. ARMs, right? Adjustable rate mortgages. There's some lenders out there that are selling them, and maybe they have a great product. So then our loan officers ask, hey, we need to sell ARMs. And I'm like, that is a distraction, right?
Now, why is it a distraction? Is there not that much business out there, or sort of not that much clientele that would benefit from an ARM?
Well, right now, the ARM prices aren't really aggressive. And then I can go get really technical and super in depth on what's called an inverse yield curve. But just know this, ARM pricing, for the most part, is not as aggressive as regular fixed rate long-term pricing. Now, some lenders might have a product that they portfolio and they might have a lower rate on that product than some other ones. But for general masses, ARM products are not strategically priced right now.
So in Brevard County, what does that mean for the percentage of business in Brevard County?
So this is the crazy thing.
I'd like to take it hyper-local.
Yeah. Let's take it hyper-local, and then on a national scale, it's not going to be a whole lot different.
Okay,
so for where we live in Florida, ARMs, and I just looked at the stat, over the last year have only made up 2.8% of all loans written in our county.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so 2.8%. That means there's 97.2%, if I did my public math right, 97.2%, or did I get that right? Yeah, carry the one. Okay, 97.2% that aren't ARMs. So do you go after if you're a salesperson, whether you're a realtor or a mortgage professional, do you go after that 2.8% at the risk of the 97.2%? No,
not.
Don't do that unless you have a really, really aggressively priced product.
I think we like to always focus on what's the next big thing that I can jump on. Like, I'm going to take the magic pill that elevates me above everybody else. So I think sometimes we get drawn into what's shiny and latest and loudest, but you're right. It makes more sense to go for the larger percentage of business.
Well, salespeople are a sucker for good sales. Right. And so a salesperson comes along and says, look, you got to use this new CRM advertising, but you got to look deep into those stats and data. So this person is selling a real estate professional, a CRM, and the CRM might be great. But remember, that salesperson makes a commission if you buy it. And then to implement a CRM in your own business, it takes weeks, if not months, to implement it. And that's only doing that. So it's a distraction from what's going to actually get you the business. And that's reaching out. You probably are going to ask this, but look, we can't forget what works.
Right.
What works is our sphere of influence, getting referrals, training your sphere of influence to send you referrals, phone calls to reach out to your past client and database and things like that. And if you don't have a fancy CRM, but you have a spreadsheet with names and numbers on it, it's a great way to generate business is calling those people on that spreadsheet. You don't need a fancy system.
It's your old school CRM.
Right. But good CRMs, they will make your life easier. They will help organize you and all those things. But this is just one of many distractions that are hitting people. Can you think of any other ones now that I put you on the spot?
Well, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with the next shiny object and not to focus so much on that one loan product. I feel like everybody out in the business right now is just trying, because we shifted from that farming to hunting mentality. It's not like it was a couple of years when it was raining deals. So we're trying to figure out something new and what's the latest and loudest. So I feel like product is something that everybody just naturally gravitates to.
Right. Products don't sell. people sell, right? So products, I mean, if you have an amazing product that is really free, we're giving you free money, but there's no such thing as free money in our businesses.
Do we not all get our money from the same place?
More or less.
Okay.
Right. And so there are some people that, will market things as free money, and some of them might be. There might be some grant programs out there. Well, it's not free. It's costing the taxpayer dollars, but it's not free, but it might be free to that individual. Just make sure there's no strings attached. But those things come and go. If you base your business model around free stuff from one entity, a government, right, that grant money might run out. And so your customer base that you've been marketing to that needs free money is going to run out eventually.
Right.
Because they have stipulations. There's, minimum income requirements or maximum incomes, or has to be a certain amount of below the median. It depends on the program. And I'm not saying they're bad. There's some great programs that people should take advantage of. But if you're a real estate agent or a mortgage professional and you base your whole business around something that might dry up, well, that's going to cause you problems down the road.
Understood. So what would be a segment of the market that you would say is not going to dry up? What's the largest segment?
Well, I mean, look at conventional, in the mortgage side, if you look at loans, conventional conforming loans. Well, first of all, for those of you who don't know, there's conventional loan just means it's not a government loan. So conventional just means it's not FHA, USDA, or VA loan. And in conventional, there's two different classifications. There's conforming and non-conforming. And conforming loans conform to all the standards of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Non-conforming don't. So a non-conforming loan might be a jumbo loan a bank has, right? Or it might be what we call a non-QM or non-prime loan that doesn't fit the Fannie or Freddie model. So conforming loans make up 97% of all conventional loans.
And that's not just Brevard County?
That is Brevard County.
Brevard County.
Okay. So I got to imagine some areas are going to be different because some areas have more jumbo or over the conforming limits. And the conforming limits are high. There's 726,200 or change. I can get corrected later, but they're high, right? But if you don't meet that, then over that's typically a jumbo. Now, there are some areas that have super conforming loans, like a lot of big cities, maybe New York City, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, that they can still be considered conforming, but they're larger loan amounts. Now, over that would be jumbo. My point is that this market is not a massively jumbo market. But you go into California or New York or some of the higher cost areas, that non-conforming number might be a little higher. But if you're a loan officer, do you go after the 2% or the 98%?
I'm going to go after the 98%.
Right. You don't want to make now, if you're really good and you have a niche where that you fit in so good in that 2% that you would own it, well, that's a whole different story.
Right.
But I don't know who has that.
I'd rather work smarter than harder.
Okay. Well, now you're talking my language. Good. So as far as to other distractions, what else have you seen out there as distractions?
I think a lot of times people, like you were saying earlier, they get away from doing the basics. So they're going out trying to find new ways to get in front of people, such as maybe investing in a new CRM. But something that you spoke to a while ago was talking about rocks. CRMs are something that's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to pull you away from what your day-to-day is that should be getting you, to your next goal.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is if you're not consistently closing transactions, you got to be going after the fundamentals, right? You have to be hitting the phones, hitting your sphere, hitting your database, going after referrals, talking to your accountant, your lawyers in your world, divorce attorney, whatever it is to get you business. You need to be focused solely on that until you get to a certain point where now you're looking at things that may bring in a broader amount of business and things like that. But if you don't have a strong foundation of referral business, that's what you need to be working on. And quite frankly, I don't have my phone in front of me, but the phone that you have in your pocket or in your purse or on your desk, that is the most powerful tool that you can have right now.
So what would you say to the agents that it's been a while since they went back to the basics, where they know those fundamentals, but they've gotten away from it for a couple of years when, business was booming. And granted, they were busy. They were just busy with other things. How would you suggest that they kind of reset themselves and get back to those basics?
Well, you said they were busy, but they were busy with other things. Absolutely, right? So in 2020 and 2021, we were trying to organize the chaos. Everything was coming at us so fast that it wasn't easy. We had different challenges. Well, now it's not coming at you so fast. You got to, like you said earlier, you got to hunt. You're not farming. And so if you're out of practice, I'd go back and look at the business you've done. If you've been in the business for 3-4 years, you probably have a long list of clients. And, things probably went well and they probably liked you, right?
I would hope so.
But you're afraid to call them back because it might be awkward. You have all these fears in your head. Oh, they won't remember me. They'll think it's awkward. No, you just call them up. You address the grill in the room. Say, hey, listen, I'm a little embarrassed. It's been a while since we spoke, but I just wanted to reach out and see how you're doing.
Easy enough.
Easy enough. And that's it. That's how you start the conversation with those past clients. Now, if you don't have any past clients, we got to meet people, right?
Grocery store,
your gym, haircut, your barber or your salon, wherever it may be. You just got to talk to more people. You can't, this is probably a topic for a whole nother podcast, and I love this phrase, there is no conversion without a conversation.
I love that. And
so going back to the fundamentals mean having more conversations. How many conversations do you have to have in order to get that conversion? Now, I know we talk about this a lot. We talk about the phone a lot. We talk about converting people, and we've had this conversation before. So this might seem repetitive, but I'll tell you, to be successful, it can be boring.
Routine and repetition can be boring, but that's what gets you to your goals, right?
It does. And that's the problem, is that as salespeople, a lot of us are outgoing.
Yes.
And we're a little bit, we get distracted easily, and we look at latest and loudest.
And we're trying to find that easy button.
And we're trying to find the easy button.
Yeah.
The reality is the secret to success, and don't tell everybody this.
Oh, no.
It's hard work.
I knew you were going to say that.
And anything you're looking to do to cut that hard work off may or may not work. But everyone's trying to sell you that dream of don't work as hard, work smart. And I don't disagree with them, but be smart about the hard work you do, right?
Love that. So, Joe, what do you think about social media as far as a distraction?
Okay. Well, again, is it one of your fundamentals, right? Is social media your main source of business? Or is it busy work for you where you think you're being productive?
Or did it work one time?
Did it work one time?
Yeah.
I will tell you this, social media is branding. Okay. It's the top of the funnel.
So more of just letting people know or be aware of who you are and what you do.
So yes, but if you're constantly on social media and not on the phone talking to your past clients or your sphere, your database, that's a mistake. You're not going to get away from those phone calls. If you don't like the phone calls, it's going to be a real hard business for you.
So aside from social media, what about advertising generated leads? Can those be a distraction? Obviously they're a benefit because they get you money, they get you clients. Would those be considered a distraction as well?
Well, look, if you look at leads generated online, the conversion ratio of those is a lot lower than a referral, right? So obviously referrals cost you less money. And they have a way higher conversion ratio. Now, some people are very successful with online leads. They're very good at generating business and converting those online leads at very high or higher ratios, but they're not nearly going to be as high as a referred lead. So there's a difference between a lead and a referral, right? The difference is that referral's been pre-sold and they already trust you and they have some degree of trust. They know what you have a value to offer because someone's already sold you in.
Right.
The lead has no trust in you. They don't know you from Adam, right? They have no idea if you have something of value to offer. You're starting well behind, so you have to catch up.
Sell them on yourself first.
You have to sell them a lot harder to get that lead converted. Now, I'm not dissing on online generated leads because, like I said, some people are very successful at that, but that's their model, right? And if you ask them, some of them would say, "Yeah, I love it. I would never do anything different." But some of them just use that as a means to get into be able to buy the gap between that and referrals. And so, is it a distraction? Right now I'm not going to get into trigger leads. But, right now, when we put in credit, when our loan officers put in credit, that credit can be sold by the credit reporting bureaus, right, to third parties who solicit your lead.
All I can imagine is my phone ringing off the hook nonstop.
Well, if you get these leads, right? You have to be very good at selling them, and they're not cheap. And they're, you now are a telemarketer. You have to follow a different set of guidelines, FCC,
right.
All these things. And for us, I don't want to do that. I don't think it's a very honest or genuine way to get business is, sneak, but neither here nor there. It was a distraction for us to look at trigger leads, right? I'm like, I'd rather get referral business and work hard routinely to provide value to our partners and agents and clients to get that referral past repeat business, not to go out and buy leads. Now, again, someone might be set up great to do it. We're not that company, right?
Right.
But same with agents. Be careful of the distractions. The people on the phone are also very highly motivated. I didn't say desperate. They're highly motivated to sell you whatever system they are. And they're going to say some things that are very persuasive. You might go 2 or 3 months down the road and not realize you're not getting a return until you kill it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they got 2 or 3 months of commission and you're like,
they're off to the next.
And you only have so much time in the day. What are you going to do with your time? You're going to go after your referrals and provide better customer service to them? Or are you going to go after this new lead generating system that gives you get names and numbers, but the conversion ratios are very slow and it takes a lot of your time and effort.
Right. Again, going back to the work smarter, not harder.
Work smarter, not harder. What else we got?
That's all I got for you today.
Those are the only distractions. I can get distracted all day talking about distractions.
I could too.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, look, thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And so for those of you out
It was
there,
a good distraction from my day.
Good. I'm glad we could take you away from the work that makes you money. Okay. But look, for those of you who don't subscribe, please subscribe, like, share. It'll come to you. You don't have to search us out every week. And if you found value in this, please tell us down below what you did find value in. And if you didn't find value, I'd like to know that even more so I know how to improve next time, or we know how to improve next time. What kind of topics are you looking on? We really appreciate you taking a little bit of time to listen to us today, and we hope to see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you soon.